Alright, it's recording. Hey everyone. Today I'm going to be playing more Minecraft and talking about this video by Wendigoon. The story so brutal it changed history, the disturbing truth of Heart of Darkness explained. I saw this video and I immediately tuned into it and got pretty hyped, honestly, because it's a new one. He released it, I think, today, maybe yesterday. When did he release this? 23 hours ago, so not even a day. But the reason this got me really hyped up was I had to read this book not even 4 or 5 months ago as part of this class I took, World Literature 2, which was a really fun one. It was a summer class, so you didn't like do as much as you would have during the full year, which kind of sucked, unfortunately. But it was pretty fun. You just got to reading Heart of Darkness was not the final of the course, but it was like one of the last big things we read, and it was like, because it was an online class, it was just like hyperlinks to a bunch of publicly available, public domain type of stuff, and we had to read a bunch of poetry. I fucking love that. I've never been really into poetry, so getting to kind of see a world that I don't look into too much was pretty cool. But we got to read a bunch of a bunch of stuff from, oh god, what's his name? The guy who wrote Kubla Khan and a bunch of other stuff. Not Longfellow. Who the fuck was? We did read some Longfellow, but that was different. Who the fuck was that? I don't remember his name, but I remember, like, part of the class. The class was weird because it was the class was weird because it was like 90% going over and just reading the stuff, and then it was like 1% learning about the author. Like, this author was like, for Kubla Khan was one of the I think it was like the first test or the first unit was just on. God, I'm gonna Google his name. Who was that? Coleridge. Yeah, we had to do a test on him, and it was like, oh yeah, he's tweaking the fuck out. He's off the walk, coding, or off the juice. Coding got me tripping. He was doing that. He was tripping off the juice. Coding got him tripping. But yeah, we got to read a bunch of stuff from him, and that was pretty fun. It was a fun class. It was I took a bunch of classes at like last summer I took 12 credits online. I did like 3 at the main 4-year college I go to during the year, and then I did like one course that was worth 3 credits. Yeah, cool. It was just like the generic communications course everyone has to take, and I'm not gonna lie, that shit kind of sucked. But because I had to pay like fucking, I want to say like $800 or $900. Don't do summer classes at your main college, or don't take any classes at your main college that like you don't have to. Because for me, for like the vast majority of people, it's gonna be significantly cheaper. Like, everything in your major, I think you should take at a big 4-year college. But everything gen ed or like shit you're not really gonna get into too heavily, take it somewhere else. Because it was like the English classes I took online were pretty much the same quality as the ones I'd had in person, but just remove, like, if an instructor does cool stuff for you, then you're not gonna get that, which sucks. But like, other than that, you're not really gonna feel any terrible fucking difference. It's just cheaper. But yeah, but anyways, I did like 3 credits at my college online, and then I did 9 credits at a community college online. And taking a 12 credit term over the summer was a pretty fucking horrible idea, honestly. It was nice in some ways because it's like, it was all stuff that I was like semi-interested in but didn't really want to like break the bank to go learn about. So I'm gonna go get some logs for my base. I'm working on, so like I'm just building more of these, but like over here, and I'm just doing different block palettes for like each unit. You can see like that one is, oh, these two were just to get every color of wood. So we have like all the woods in the base game, and that's pretty cool. And then we have like a mangrove and spruce palette, and then we have like birch and oak, which is just like I don't know. I fuck with birch and oak. It's a classic. This one I went a little different. I went brick and mangrove, and that one I went mud brick and packed mud. That one's going to be a little bit ugly, but we're going to see how it'll turn out. I think it'll come out okay. I think it's just going to be a little bit weird looking, but that's all right. But anyways, I took like a 12 credit term over the summer, and I don't regret it, but like because I took those classes, I now have like space in my degree where I have the time to take more classes and take a minor in English, which is pretty cool. And it's not free, but it's like I managed to do it in a way where I don't have to spend like extra money. Like all the money I had to spend that summer went, how do I put it? It was like everything added up together to take all of those classes and do all this shit. Do I have any dirt? I might not. No, that's coarse dirt. Aha. I need a lot of dirt in this build, like a weird amount of dirt. But you can see this shit is all turning out pretty cool. The insides, I'm just gonna leave it like this because it's either this or build rooms and put villagers in it, and I don't want to lag up the world like that. Yeah, but we're gonna go, and we're just gonna copy this, the stair, log, and then do I have the stairs on me? I do. Very cool. I'm gonna go ahead. But the reason I saw that Wendigoon video and wanted to talk about it, I've already watched most of the video, but there's this very interesting point in the Wendigoon video, or this interesting point in the book that gets brought up in the Wendigoon video, where Marlowe, the main character, he's sitting with Kurtz, and Kurtz is pretty much dying, and he says the line, "The veil had been rent." And he says this line like 1 or 2 seconds, spoilers, before Kurtz dies. And I think that line, I don't know, it didn't get brought up as, it kind of just got passed by, like it didn't get really talked about in the video. But I think that line was really cool and important, because throughout the whole book, Marlowe is sitting there and he's like he's tweaking out. He's like, oh, Kurtz is this fucking magic man. He's gonna solve all my problems. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. And he's hitting all this shit, being like, yeah, Kurtz is gonna do this for me. He's gonna do that for me. It's just like a weird idealization of this guy. And, it's kind of like, this is weird, Like there's I don't know why I didn't put the logs up there. I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm just going to do the trapdoors and then do them from the top side. It'll be easier. Yeah. But I think it's interesting the way that, how do I put it? Like, that line, "The veil had been rent," it's a reference to, what's it called? Like Catholicism and baptism and the whole... or not baptism, but like just general Protestantism. I've been struggling to remember that name. Yeah. But it's a reference to, so in Catholicism and baptism, Protestantism, you fucking idiot. This is what happens when you're raised by like fucking retarded people in the South, is you just end up with like, no, there is only one denomination. It is only baptism. But, yeah, that's what happens when you fucking grow up Southern Baptist, is you end up a retard. But, low battery, please recharge headset. Shut the fuck up. But, I thought the line was really cool because it's a reference to, like, during the Protestant Reformation, one of the big arguments that kind of was like, oh, this is why we're allowed to talk to God on our own. We don't have to go to what's it called, like a Catholic priest and repent and do all that shit. What's it called? Confessionals. Like, you don't have to do that to a priest, and that's one of the big debate and big, like, cutting differences between Protestantism and, like, Catholicism is the belief in, like, oh, do we have to go to a priest to get our fucking sins undone or whatever? And a big argument for the Protestant side was the line at, I can't remember where it is, but somewhere in the Bible there's the line, the veil had been rent. And, I mean, theological debate about, like, Bible shit, it's, no one, you can read it all a million trillion different fucking ways. I don't know. I don't really have any dogs in the fight because I'm not particularly religious. But I remember it being, like, kind of a thing when I was growing up, was, like, a genuine argument talking point between Catholics and, like, non-Catholics was just, like, oh, the veil had been rent. Well, that means we can pray. Or that means we can repent on our own time, pretty much. Or, no it don't, quit that. You get the idea. But I think this specific use of that line, damn, a bird literally just walked within, like, a foot of the... Like, got right up to my window and just went... That's funny. But, I think the specific use of that line is very cool and important in that, in that context. Because throughout the whole book, Marlowe has just been slowly building up Kurtz to be this, like... Not even slowly. He's just been kind of, like, tweaking the fuck out and building Kurtz up to be this, like, magnificent man who is... At points, he's attributing, fucking idiot, attributing, that's the word, attributing, like, extremely crazy negative shit to Kurtz, and at other points, he's treating him like a god, effectively. And I think I think when he's sitting there on this boat, and he sees Kurtz just ailing in the bed, and at this point, he looks at Kurtz, and he's describing, like, seeing in his eyes, seeing just, like, a millennia's worth of tweaking out in Kurtz's eyes. And I think that line, I think him seeing the human emotions of all of it just come over Kurtz, and then looking down and just saying the veil had been rent, I think that is some of the most impactful shit, because... throughout the whole book, Kurtz has been past the point of idealized and to the point of, like, this man is a god to everyone else. Everyone looks at Kurtz and they're like, this isn't a human. This is something specialer. Specialer? That's not a word. This is something better. This is something, either some horrific demon or some horrible thing or some... in most readings of it, this guy is like the fucking spirit of colonialism, because he's Big Ivory, here to fucking kill natives and take ivory. I forgot to do those. Yeah. But, it's like, I think that, I don't know, something about that line, the veil had been rent, and throughout the whole book, Kurtz is built up by everyone. And we don't get a scene of Kurtz, like, we don't get to meet the guy until... Like, I'd say about the 2/3 point in the book is when we meet him, because they pull up at the camp, and it's the Harlequin and Kurtz and all that, and it's, you get the idea. But I think as soon as they pull up, like, seeing all this horrible, horrible shit, and it's pretty far into the book when they actually get to see Kurtz. And all that they really get of him before the scene is just, like, a couple of weird interactions where, like, some people want him dead, some people want him gone, some people adore the guy. Like, the Harlequin treats him like a god. Once he even asked, like, Marlowe, like, to effectively spread the word of Kurtz into, like, mainstream Europe. And it's fucking crazy. I'm sure there's also the Harlequin being Little Russian Boy. I'm sure there's some sort of symbolism there. I don't really know what it's about, but something. I don't know. I don't. So apologies for not knowing the exact fucking cultural context of what 1890 Belgium writing. I don't fucking know, but reading that line, "The veil has been rent," it really got to me. It just like, and also hearing Wendigoon, like his delivery of it, because my opinion on it is, it's saying that like, as Marlowe is looking down at this dying man in the bed, this like fucking almost a false idol level of like, this is the guy, and he's dying in a bed on some shitty fucking boat, and oh my god, it's very cool. It's very cool emotionally, but it's also like, I can't fucking imagine what that meant for Marlowe in the moment. Like, that is the coolest shit ever. Because imagine looking at this man who you've been effectively like hyping yourself up about for like months at this point, because I can't remember the exact timeline in the story, but they've been like in the Congo at this point for like years, maybe months. They've traveled like thousands of miles to get to Kurtz's location. They're doing all kinds of shit. And to picture like over the course of like months to years, just building up this image of like a godlike man, not even barely, never even really thinking of the guy as human, just thinking of it as this like, Marlowe kind of used it as like a MacGuffin, where he's like, oh yeah, I'll have a conversation with Kurtz. That's like his big goal of the entire book, is to sort of know Kurtz, to sort of understand him and figure out everything and see what makes this thing tick. And then he finally gets there, and he finally realizes all of it. And at this point, he's still kind of viewing Kurtz as like this magic fucking God fucking damn it. That's the one problem about building these like apartments, is if you fuck up, which you're gonna fall off of these, especially if you're a stupid fucking idiot like me, you're gonna fall off these stupid fucking buildings 5 trillion goddamn times every second. Alright. Oh, fuck, clutch. Oh, God. But, reading The Veil Has Been Rent, something about just... I read that line, or I heard Rendigoon. I heard Wendigoon, like, read that line, and in the moment, I just pictured Marlowe just on this boat, just on this fucking rotting, shitty boat, just staring at this dying man in the bed and just thinking, this isn't a god, this isn't a solution. And I feel like The Veil Has Been Rent, it's in a new context there, because instead of meaning like, now we can talk to God, now we can see the glory of it all, it's the opposite. It's, this isn't God. This is like, this is, God, fucking idiot moment. But instead of being like some moment of like how in the original context of The Veil Has Been Rent, it was like a fucking thing of hope for the Germanic peoples who ended up moving to, Lutheranism, Protestant, whatever bullshit Protestant shit was going on back then. Just picturing them reading, I'm picturing like some German farmer reading The Veil Has Been Rent and just feeling just pure joy at the thought of like being able to, how do I put it, like in his mind commune with God, or like whatever way you want to view it, for like in the original context of that line. And I feel like this book almost took it to like the literal exact opposite, where no, this isn't, you think this is what you're getting. You're thinking you're going to get that convo with like, you're going to get deep convo with Chief Keef on the boat. But no, this is just a dying, sick, depending on how you look at him, evil man who, this isn't any solution for anything. This is just a pile of like rotting carcass about to die on this fucking miserable boat voyage. And I think the soundscape of that scene would be really cool if we ever get a live action adaptation of Heart of Darkness. Conrad should really get on that, but like, I mean, the guy's been dead for like 150 fucking years. I mean, he published this shit in what, 1890s, 1890, 1899, somewhere in there, but like, it's really fucking funny to be like, bro, this shit is cool. We gotta make a movie out of this. Somebody should tell that guy, we gotta make a movie out of this. It's fucking dumb. But I picture like the soundscape of the scene, just like Kurt's in the bed, quietly, raspily breathing, like he's about to die. That type of, like, he's not a death rattle, but like not that, but like the type of noise that you hear just in a hospital room when someone's sick, where it's just like a quiet rasp in the voice of this guy, and he's barely even talking. He's like, he's saying some shit. I mean, he's saying some important lines and explaining himself, I guess, but I don't think anything could beat. I imagine Marlowe walking in there, and I honestly think a perfect ending for that book would have just been the Veil have been rent, and then just the sound of, or like if there were a movie adaptation of it, just the Veil have been rent, and then it just shows Kurt sitting in the, like, some shitty little makeshift bed on this boat, and him just like deeply breathing, about to die. And I think that would have been perfect fucking ending. But it's still a pretty good book. I like it. And it's also fucking crazy that, like, it was effectively, like, historical fiction at the time. Or not historical fiction, what's the term? What's it called? Like, alternate history? No. Like, shit. Like, believable stories set in a real time. Like, I don't know. Like, historical nonfiction is what my brain keeps saying, but, like, for, like, contemporary thing where, Belgium was, like, actively in the Congo at this time, trading ivory, fucking up, doing all of this shit. Like, this was real and, like, current at the time of the book. And that's pretty fucked up. I don't really have much more to add in this video, but, like, that's a pretty cool little, how do I put it, like, take on it, I feel. Let me know if you think I'm right, if you think that line, the Veil of been rent, was intended in that way of, I don't know, I think it was a nice subversion on the original meaning, where, you look at the original, like, the joy of, like, yay, we can talk to God now, la 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 la, and then it cuts to, like the dead opposite, where it's, instead of being like, we can see it, it's real now, it's the opposite. It's like all this build up throughout the book of Marlowe talking about this man like he's some great god or some, at points, like, horrible demon, and then it just cuts to just a man on a boat, and that's pretty fucked up, and that's pretty cool. It's a pretty, God, it's a pretty good book. I enjoyed it when I had to read it originally, but I kind of had to cram read it just because it's pretty short. It's like, I think 80 pages, maybe less, maybe like 50. I don't really remember, but it's pretty short. But yeah, this is the finished up apartments. Do I have any Elytra rocket or firework rocket? I mean, I do. Yeah, let's fly up and see how the buildings look. So this is the city. This is like what I'm, let me fly up over here a bit. This is like what I'm building is, you get the idea. This is pretty cool. And let's see what it looks like from the, ooh, lag. Ooh. Let's see what it looks, oh yeah, this shit's gonna look awesome, dude. Like the streets and the little parks. Oh, this shit's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make the castle fit in. Oh, this shit's gonna look so cool. Let's see. Oh, hell yeah, this shit is gonna look sick as hell. But, I think the next goal in the village is to, like, or village, I say in quotes, in this little, like, like miniature city thing I'm building here is to fill up in here with more apartments, but also I want to come up with more stuff to put in like middle here. Because what I'm gonna do is one layer of apartments, one layer of one layer of something that isn't apartments, just so that way there's the roads on this one are 5 wide because I made like a mistake when I was laying out the city. I wanted them to be 3 wide like everywhere. So it can't be like because of the trap doors and the little garden beds on each house or each like apartment. I can't have it be like apartment building then apartment building. This is the only one that is like that. Or no, it's not even like that because I put a garden bed here too. Huh. I think I'm gonna leave most of these like apartment or something else, apartment something else, apartment something else. You get the idea. I think most of them I'm gonna leave as like garden beds, but I don't know. Let me know if you can think of cool stuff to put in there. I might put like, I don't know, like maybe like a little mini lake, and then maybe in one of them put like a little fucking miniature like concert hall, have like a campfire or something, and a bunch of people. Maybe put like fucking KK Slider in one of them, have like him playing guitars and a bunch of people standing around him going like, oh, you know, that might be funny. I don't know, but honestly, this is turning out a lot like better than I thought it would. I had to use commands and like creative mode for a bit to get rid of what I had here. It was like a little, I don't know, it just wasn't coming together in the way I wanted it to, so I had to, first I had to change this because it was just cobblestone, and I had to use commands to make it 2 layers thick, then remove the top layer so I could make it like textured road, and now it looks sick as fuck. But I don't really care too much about like, oh, this has to be all survival mode, but like this shit looks pretty cool. And I'm gonna finish these. I think I'm gonna keep these on the shorter side. I'm gonna keep them shorter than that one, or because here I did 4 buildings in a row, yeah, and garden bed. Then I'm gonna add more Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably do a bunch of this off camera. Just build more of this stuff. I think it looks, honestly, it's coming together really good, and I'm really happy about that. I think over here I'm gonna build like a mock Epstein's Island. I'm gonna put like all the fucking buildings. Maybe put like a bunch of baby villagers in one of the buildings, and then just like come here for like be like, oh, I have to go to my smelting room. Come over here, walk past the kids, don't even reference it, don't even look at it. Just have it be like a little gag in the corner. That might be the funniest shit of all time. It's fucked up what he did. It's fucking horrific, but like, you know, there's a decent amount of funny bits that can come out of it. And this is the one iron golem that's spawned in here because of all the villagers that I put in this building. But there was like a naturally spawning village right in here, and I thought it'd be cool to put the villagers in the apartments. But yeah, I'm gonna keep coming up with more shit to put in here. But let me know if you agree with like my thoughts on Heart of Darkness and the whole "The Veil Has Been Rent" line. That line is really cool to me, and I really like it. Let me know if you agree with like my take on it, with it being like a sort of subversion of that classical, you know, shit. Let me know if you agree. That's really all I have. Shorter video. Have a good one. Bye.